I guess starting with that, with some of the games, I mean, how do you feel that the Commissioner's Cup has been going so far, and some of the format changes that you've, made over the last couple of years? How has that
I think
resulted?
we made it in a 2 week to a little over 2 week time frame. It's more understandable, I think, than it was before. Everybody obviously plays everybody one time. And then the final will be at the one with the best record. So yeah, excited for that. You've heard the players pumped up about it too. So yeah, there's a lot of parity in the league this year. You're seeing it in the standings. You're seeing it in games. You're seeing it in the offensive efficiency. I think so far we've had the highest points per game in the history of the league, and that includes the bubble season when we didn't have any travel. So far, yeah, a lot of excitement around it.
With the Moda Center renovations, obviously a hot topic around Portland, what is your view on how those are progressing, and then what has the league's role been in those negotiations?
Yeah, we get updated periodically. I understand that there's ongoing discussions. Obviously, one of the reasons when we grant expansion teams, we look at things like practice facilities, we look at arenas. We obviously want world-class arenas in all of in our cities, so certainly here in Portland, we look forward to that as well.
Cathy, with some of the changes to the officiating and the points of emphasis and stuff that you've implemented this year, are you happy overall with what it's led to as far as the product compared to maybe the last couple of years when that's been a talking point?
Yeah, I think you all know we had a State of the Game Council, an officiating committee. I participated in a bunch of those meetings. Obviously, always a work in progress, officiating for sure. And I think what we're doing actually now that we're a quarter through the season, actually my head of basketball league operations just sent a message out today around kind of, getting that group back together again now that we're a quarter way through to kind of do a debrief of how things are going. And again, the one thing I think a lot of the players learned from the officials that are on the committee, the officials from the players, we had GMs, we had coaches, we had college coaches, we had like a broad stakeholder group is, how much film really gets reviewed, how many games get reviewed, every call, every non-call. I honestly hadn't had a deep dive about that. So, there's we can always be better, but I think there is more freedom of movement. There's no doubt about that this year, but we're still a work in progress.
I wanted to get your thoughts just on the Fever journalist that had his credential revoked. Like, what are the qualifications or the violations that somebody would have to meet in order to revoke that, and just get your thoughts on that as a whole?
Yeah, obviously credentialing is up to each team. So we follow that we put out kind of broader media policies, as you know, and then teams credential media or don't credential media as a result of that. So I'm not going to comment much further than that, but that we, in the end, Dina was involved obviously in our whole PR group and what happened there.
On the arena subject, again, when the money is approved eventually, how much advocacy do you see the league being involved in, the Fire being involved in creating spaces for women specific, to better serve the WNBA team?
Yeah, I think that will definitely be a conversation. Just toured today with the Bethals, toured the hopefully soon to be completed practice facility, or I guess performance center we call it now. Really thrilled with what they're doing there. It looks amazing, and so hopefully in a month or two we'll be able to see the fruits of that labor. So again, world-class arenas, world-class performance centers are going to be really important to free agents, important to the player experience. So again, the arena, same thing, we'll be weighing in on that as well.
There was an investigation going on with the Las Vegas Aces. I was just curious if you had any update on.
I don't have any update right now at this time, but hopefully, as I said, we let the outside counsel do their work, and hopefully we'll have an update soon on that.
Connecticut has been a hotbed for basketball for many years. Obviously, it's a sad situation for the Sun to have to leave. Do you foresee a situation where there'll be a WNBA team back in Connecticut?
Yeah, a lot of people ask that question. Obviously, the Mohegan tribe ran a process for the sale of the team, ended up being sold to Houston. I think there was a lot of inaccuracies in the press, quite frankly, about the whole process, but it was up to the tribe to make that decision for them. Obviously, they own casinos. It wasn't really a core asset to them, but they enjoyed, and they were great owners for many, many years, and great fan base. And I think, when you look at, they're going to do a couple games in Hartford this year, another game in Boston. I was at the Boston game last year. Such a New England, call it more broadly, a great a great market for sports. So, yeah, do I foresee in the 2030s, if we were to do expansion again, them being part of the process? That region, yes, but again, as we stated many times, we did not get a bid from any Boston ownership group as part of our expansion process.
So the Houston bid was the highest bid?
No, that was a private transaction between the Mohegan tribe. I'm talking about when we ran our expansion process that ended in Portland and the Bay Area and Toronto, and then obviously Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly getting expansion teams. There was no bid from anyone in Boston.
Kathy, kind of just on the point of these expansion teams coming in, didn't end up needing to ask this last year because Golden State made the playoffs, but if one or both of the new teams this year ends up not making the playoffs, how's the lottery going to work as far as, these teams that don't have multiple year histories having it with, the 2-year aggregate odds thing? Is there any clarity on how that's all going to work?
Yeah, there is clarity. So I'll follow up on that question and get you the exact answer. But I think it's it would be for them. It would be based on their 1-year record as to where they would fall in the odds in the lottery, I should say. But there will be a lottery team if they don't make the playoffs. But I mean, I'm so impressed with both these expansion teams. Having to put rosters together, roster construction is complex now in the WNBA, very strategic, and I think that both here and Toronto have put great rosters together, and I'm excited to see the team on the court tonight live. I've been watching all the games, and the arena looks so great on broadcast, but I'm excited to be here tonight.
Just kind of piggybacking off of that, what were your thoughts when you did see the sellout crowd for Portland's first
I
game
was
here?
just inspiring that we can stand a team up, and obviously a lot of credit to the Bethals and their management team here, stand a team up so quickly, and especially with obviously the CBA not being done until mid-March, and having run a 2-team expansion draft, and then obviously the college draft, and then obviously an active free agency period where and just giving more opportunities to more players to play in the league. And I think what you're seeing with the 2 expansion teams this year is players who might have been role players on other teams are stepping up and they're stars. And that's when you did the right thing by expanding, because these players didn't maybe have those opportunities on other teams, and it didn't degrade the quality like some people wrote about. And actually, I think it lifted the quality overall of the league. So I'm really excited about that aspect of expansion.
Kathy, we're probably about a month or so, just over from All-Star in
Yeah.
Chicago. It's coming up really soon.
Very soon.
Are there any adjustments, changes to the weekend that people can expect to see?
Yeah, nothing that I can think off the top of my head. We're doing kind of a shooting stars format. I'm sure we'll be announcing a bunch of things related to what the formats are on Friday night. Excited Saturday night to be at the United Center. And WNBA Live is going to be bigger and better than ever. We obviously just launched All-Star voting, so yeah, I was really excited to see how that all turns out. And Chicago's going to be great in the summer. It's going to be a great host.
You got a letter grade just based on 13 games through the season, out of the expansion teams, just a letter grade for how the franchise are kind of operating and running operations.
An A, without a doubt. Again, it's really hard to stand up a team. You're like a startup, and if you think about the business community, when you have a startup, it takes 5 to 6 years. I'm just so proud of what's been done here, and I think when they open this performance center, that's going to be a great lift as well for the team and the players, and just I think they've made a lot of really good decisions that could have gone another way, but they've really killed it. And obviously the fan base here is incredible. And I knew that from when I came here, how many years ago? 3-4 years ago? When were we at the Sports Prop?
It was spring of 23.
Spring of 23, and just I was very compelled by what I was hearing from citizens of the city, and it came to fruition, and that's actually really emotional for me to see that come to fruition, because that may not happen everywhere.